Yippee-ki-yay, motherfuckers. Welcome to the Hate Napkin, Season 1, Episode 14, brought to you by regalprints.com. No, brought to you by Regal Prints, but you can find it at regalprints.com for all of your advertising needs in the Midlands and Columbia, South Carolina. But if you happen to live in Utrecht or, I don't know, Singapore, you're probably shit out of luck. But we love Jerry and the folks over there, so give them their business. Go to regalprints.com. I am your co-host, Arik Bjorn. Our other co-host, Garrett Kellerhalls, is camped out in front of the Game 1 of the World Series, so he's abandoning us again for baseball. So go Astros, who he hates. And we are joined by special guest star, Carla from Burnt Korn, Alabama. Yeah, in Burnt Korn, she is the Chief Financial Officer of the local Dairy Queen and the Editor-in-Chief of the local Burnt Korn Post-it Note.
No, I'm the manager of the local Dairy Queen and the Editor-in-Chief of the Burnt Korn Register and Tribune.
Excellent. Special guest star. Thank you for joining us again. So we're starting out today. We're going to start out with something that I didn't even know I could hate until today. We here at the Hate Napkin started a little LLC called THN Media LLC, and went to go to the bank today to start a bank account for all the trillions of dollars in royalties we assume will start floating in from folks living in their mother's basements at any moment. And while I was setting up the bank account, apparently there are a number of questions that you're forced by the federal government to answer. And I hate all of these questions. And that's on my Hate Napkin today. The first question being, what kind of a company are you? And I said, what? I'm a company that's certified by the state of South Carolina. What else do you need to know? She goes, no. I have to know specifically what it is your company does. And I said, well, what do you mean? And she said, there's a drop-down menu here. I said, okay, great. I'd like to hear them all. And she said, are you really? They're not even in alphabetical order. I said, that's fine. I'm not really sure yet. Just give me the list. So she starts off by saying, farming corn, farming wheat, farming rice, farming shellfish. She said, should I keep going? I'm like, I want to hear every single one of them. About 5 minutes later, she goes, creamy butter. Then goes to the next one, janitorial. I said, what? She said, creamy butter. I said, that's what we do. She said, what are you talking about? I said, that's what we make, creamy butter. She said, are you serious? I was like, I was hoping that was on the list. I wasn't really sure, but that's what we do. And she said, you don't really do creamy butter. I said, as of right now we do. And I called up Polly. And Polly, I said, round us up some Asiatic cows quickly. And she was like, are you serious? And I said, yep, put us down for creamy butter. And then she said, okay, well, the next question is, I need to know how much revenue you make. I said, what? I said, the federal government requires it. I said, well, the answer is zero. And she said, zero. I said, well, we just started making creamy butter about 5 minutes ago.
I'll bet I know what the bank lady hates.
She kept going on. She would not put creamy butter down, and I kept insisting that's what. And then she got to the very end of the list, and she said, "Well, that's the end of the list." I said, "Oh, did you say podcasts somewhere in there?" And she said, "Podcast? Is that what you guys do? You do a podcast?" I said, "No, we make creamy butter." So on my hate list today, although it's a funny story, I hate the fact that banks have to get nosy about what it is we do. So we want to introduce our new sponsor. That's THN Creamy Butter for all your dairy needs. It's just not good on toast. You can spread it on your lover. Creamy butter, THN Creamy Butter. So there you go. That's what I got. That's what I hate. I hate these stupid questions. Why can't I just? Why does the government have to know what it is we make?
You mean hate wasn't on the list?
Well, I did consider telling us. I started by saying, well, we're a hate group. I didn't think that we're a for-profit hate group.
Yeah, that might fly in South Carolina. They might like that. You probably
And
get
that was actually
discount on the fees.
That was on the list. I'm sure it was on the list. Anyway, so there you go. So THN Media is a real legal corporate entity. We're ready to take all your dollars. And in trade, we will supply you with as much creamy butter as you can shake a stick at. So that's what I hate. I hate those questions. Although I got, maybe I don't really hate. I think that might be on my love list. Those questions were fun. Polly, I know you've been quiet out there in Asia. Throw us some hate.
Mine is very confined to where no one else will identify with it. It's just my own personal hate, but I'll share it anyway. In the English language teaching world, which is not rocket science, anyone could do, they will give you often a teaching assistant called a TA, and I hate teaching assistants. They're basically hijackers on an airplane. And I'm trying to land an airplane with a bunch of kids on board. And I got this hijacker screaming things in another language other than what I'm teaching. Okay. Trying to help. I don't know what's going on, but it's always a disaster. And I know that they mean well, so I was hesitant to say it. But teaching assistants in the English language world are hijackers on a plane, and I hate them.
Maybe it's more like snakes on a plane.
Well, this things that they do, like translate everything. So you're trying to get a person to use a different part of their brain or think in a different way. And then
or learn a different language.
Right. And then it just becomes it becomes a Vietnamese lesson or whatever, Chinese lesson or whatever you're teaching, wherever you're teaching. And they're also actually often just designed as spies. And you always know
governmental spies.
But to let the school know what you're doing, which becomes more useless online because everything's recorded. You're kind of like your job actually.
And they keep like talking into their watches.
Yeah. It is. This is true. This is also well known.
How do you say shut your cake hole in Vietnamese?
I kicked one out of my class the other day, and then I realized how rude. I had to do a long apology to her because I probably made her feel bad. But it was like a sports lesson on like soccer, and then I just started giving red cards. I was like, "Oh, you don't have your camera and mic on, red card!" And I just kicked out of the class. And then she was just saying a bunch of stuff in Vietnamese. I'm like, "No Vietnamese, red card!" And I just booted my assistant right out of the class. And it felt so satisfying. And then class went amazing for like 5-10 minutes until I let her back in. And then I realized how wrong it was,
Okay, I like that, teaching assistants, and I think that probably applies here. I mean, everybody going into education in this country as a senior in college has to do a semester of TA work with a teacher. I'm sure every teacher in the United States. In fact, we'll probably boost our audience by about 5 or 10 million if we make this show about hating TAs. I'm sure it's the same everywhere. I'm sure it's not just teaching. For now, Carla has been kind enough to be sorting through all of our many letters that we receive here, especially from spiteful TAs. So, you got anything from the grab bag this week?
I do, as a matter of fact. Let's take a look. And it begins, "Dear amateur haters." Who knew?
Oh.
I opened my letter this way because I've met real pros this week. I have something I hate. It's people who decide they don't like people on spec. I've had this happen to me twice at my job this week. One guy demanded to speak with my supervisor the second he got up to my window. I said, "Can I ask what this is about?" He said, "If I wanted to talk to you, I wouldn't have asked for a supervisor." So my boss came up to the window and the guy chills out right away, asked for the most simple thing, which my boss handles. He asked why the man needed a supervisor for a common transaction. He says, "I took one look at her and it just pissed me off." My boss said, "Did she say something or do something to you?" "Nope, her face just pissed me off." I was a little dumbfounded. I mean, I've only got one face and it usually has a smile on it. 2 days later, a woman, I'm not going to call her a Karen, but so help me, her name was Karen, came in itching for a fight. We've all seen customers like them. I tried so hard to be nice, but I couldn't complete a sentence with her without her cutting me off. Within 30 seconds, she howls for my boss. She started going off on him about how she came in all calm and I got her riled up. I barely said a word. She seemed so pleased to have gotten a supervisor. On the way out the door, Karen yells at my boss and said, "And she needs to be fired." And she stormed out the door. I know the world is a meaner place nowadays, but would I be out of line using your show to promote a GoFundMe to get a new face? My family and friends object, but hey, I have real haters to deal with. You're the nice kind of haters. I've been dealing with people who've decided to go pro. And faceectomy as well, they ain't cheap. Sincerely, Elizabeth King, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And in the interest of full disclosure, I have known this woman on Facebook for 8 years, and she's genuinely the nicest person.
Did you say Miss King's from Pittsburgh?
She's from Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. All right. I don't know what to say, Miss King. Clearly, you're just a very ugly person.
All right. Liz,
listen,
do not listen to these schmucks. Do not listen to these
clearly
schmucks.
there are enough people out there that take one look at you and I don't know.
Makeup is a thing, have you tried makeup?
Yeah. Makeup. There's
You
also
bastards.
They've got you can get brown paper bags. And if you really want to solve the problem, you just get a plastic bag.
Well, in South Carolina, you have the Piggly Wiggly, so there's already like a face on there. You just have to cut the eyes out of the pig,
I think so.
And that would be kind of enjoyable too for people to see.
And Halloween's around the corner here, so there's plenty of masks available.
You know what I hate? Victim shaming. Way to go, guys.
Oh, you were being I thought we were being supportive.
Yeah, no way. I thought
we had like good tips here.
In our defense, I thought this was kind of a sort of splaining. I thought this was maybe like face splaining.
Here.
No, Elizabeth.
Let my face.
No.
Let my face explain this to you. Let my face explain this to you.
Oh. All right.
We're in trouble.
That's the Death Star stare.
You're in the penalty box.
Yeah, we're all, we're being churned. Carla is churning us as we speak.
Bjorn, you're getting red carded for that.
I've been turned to creamy butter. What can I say? You could spread me all over some Melba toast right about now. All right, so Elizabeth, I gotta be honest. We tried to go pro just then, and it felt awful. It didn't feel good. That didn't feel good.
No, it didn't.
But I mean, it is true though. If you really want to end it, use a plastic bag over a paper one. But that's just
for the customer.
You know what? So, it's funny because she's from a big city, and usually, there's a difference between like a big city face and a country face. I got a big city face. We haven't been over this before. Some people, you grow up kind of looking like a dick, an asshole, so people leave you alone.
Now that is the most self-awareness I've ever heard from a person.
Yeah, but you don't have to.
Sometimes in my other job, I sometimes get knocked. They're like, you should be more friendly. I'm like, You know, when I go into a public place or a store, I don't want anybody coming up to me and asking me for, saying hi. I don't like it. I just figure other people don't like it either.
Oh, you butthole.
All right, Elizabeth, we totally feel your pain. You're right. We are just amateur haters in a world filled with absolute hate. And, the hate napkin is really just about, things that aren't really important. We got anything quick, Carol, you want to throw on the napkin?
Quick?
Or Carla?
Are any of mine's ever quick? Tube
No.
tops. I hate tube tops.
Oh my God. Okay, you got to save that for the future because
Especially on men.
That's a whole other episode.
That's
Oh my God.
That's the Walmart episode.
Well, we
No,
do.
let's hear tube tops. We have time for tube tops. When is
we
there
have
not
time for tube?
Yeah, of course.
It's just
I agree.
no, the people who are wearing them should never be wearing them because tube tops come with muffin tops. And those are two things that should never be on the same plate. They should be wiped up with the same hate napkin.
If you do a little word association, tube top just makes me think of rolls of fat, just big old jelly flab,
I see you've been to my Walmart.
Well, are they? What is their function? I don't know what they're supposed to do. Are they supposed to control that? Tubes of fat?
No, they're designed for people who don't want to put clothes on and have no self-awareness of their actual body. It's a form of body dysmorphia that works in reverse where they think they look fabulous.
Okay, so it's actually
typically worn by people who are approaching planetoid size.
Okay.
In fact, if you look at sizing, the various sizes of tube tops, like the smallest size is planetoid.
Okay, your friend in Pittsburgh wasn't wearing a tube top, was she? Because sometimes we think it's one thing and it's actually something else that people don't.
No,
like.
I'm pretty sure she wasn't wearing a tube top to work.
Yeah, but if she put a tube top over her head. Ladies and gentlemen, the hate napkin again is brought to you by Regal Prints. Going over to Regal Prints.
Wait, I want to learn more. I don't know anything about tube tops. Tell me more, Carla. Are they?
This is where Google Images comes in handy.
I'm just wondering why, and are they considered a sexy thing if you are in shape? What's going on?
Send us pictures of all your loved ones in tube tops to info@thehatenapkin.com. That's info@thehatenapkin.com. You can visit us at thehatenapkin.com. The tube tops is so good. I think we're bound.
I feel like Arik has a bunch of tube tops in his closet. He seems uncomfortable. I think maybe this is what he puts on.
I'm trying to sidestep out of
before he goes down. I think before he goes down to do his cabaret show on Friday or Saturday night. As Constance Bjorn. Why are
all right, this is when the sound engineer needs to zip it.
Why do you not want to talk about tube tops? Why are you so uncomfortable?
It's the childhood terrors coming back. Memories coming back.
Did your
family members in the Kmart running as we ran towards the blue light specials?
Oh my gosh!
It took 20 years to overcome that in therapy. Come on. Needless to say, tube tops belong definitely on the hate napkin, as do hateful questions on federal questions on bank forms. We don't like teaching assistants either.
Carla, where do you see tube tops the most? Like, where do they show up the most?
At the end of the show.
Are they?
Yeah.
Are they
and ladies and gentlemen, join us again next week for another.
But I mean, do you see them more at do you see tube tops at church? Do people wear them to church? Where do they wear them to? Do they wear them
to Walmart? They wear them to Walmart.
So we just have to stop going to Walmart anyway.
He's leaving.
It's done. But that's done. That's
I know.
problem solved. Stop going to Walmart.
Well, Walmart is like, have you ever seen the website, The People of
Oh my
Walmart?
God, they're still
Oh, that
going
is
in.
classic. Oh, Arik, we need you to wrap up the show. I think it's probably time for you to wrap. Why don't you wrap up the show?
Ladies and gentlemen,
Hurry up.
my 15th attempt to close out episode 14 of season 1, brought to you by regalprints.com and THN Creamy Butter, the creamiest butter you'll find south of the Mason-Dixon line.
That's not inside of a tube top.
That's right. Okay, I think that visit us at thehatenapkin.com if you feel so inspired. We want to thank Elizabeth King for her letter of hate, and that's all I got. Tube top didn't mean.
We need
Bye,
to,
folks.
but we need to thank Regal Prince, don't we?
Oh no,
You
but
just
Arik,
did.
Arik has to get to his show. Arik has to put his
I've
pants
never
down
had such a hard time closing out a
and
show.
he's
Ladies
got to
and
go.
gentlemen,
He's got to go to his other show that he goes to.
everybody out there,
Cabaret
just
show.
go put bags
Don't
over
miss
your head.
Eric's
Somehow
cabaret
figure-
show. He changes into 5 different tube tops throughout the night. He changes more than Lady Gaga during a show. He is quite good out there as a woman. Okay, we'll see you next time.
I changed more than Cher in the nursing home.
I'm sorry, that was funny.
All right, you hit stop, please. Till